Before she goes on stage, Jessica applies what most dancers refer to as their most essential necessity.
There's the whole phenomenon of sock glue, which, when I first heard of, I thought I was totally misunderstanding the person who told me about the sock glue phenomenon. But basically, it's something that the girls use to keep the socks positioned on their shin so that they don't slip down while they're dancing and obviously cause a distraction to the footwork.
Finally ready to go, Jessica gets some last-minute advice.
It's on me. It's all the hard work that you've done in the last years and years and years and years and years. Okay?
If they connect with you, that is all the difference. Okay?
Yeah. Make them love you as soon as you walk in. Go for.
I'm fine. All these flames.
Breaking away from her family and friends, Jessica makes her way to the main stage.
We, as a kind of Western society, really buy into competition. We have this disposition that we get a thrill out of being the best at something, or the new thing now is have a personal best. It makes life very exciting, but it has the potential to be quite unhealthy.
You may love or hate competition, but it's a necessary evil. Without it, none of us would have the standard of dancing that we have today.
No matter how close you are with your opposition or that you get along really well, it does get very competitive, more so than people think.
We're delighted with her, with how she actually danced. We're very, very, very pleased. So, but we're also prepared to be disappointed because
yeah, I don't think that happened, but I don't think she could have done any better.
I felt really good, nervous, but just wanted to get it all done and just do my best really after all the practice. Everything went to plan and no slips or anything, which is the main thing. The competition was really good and everyone was amazing. They've all practiced so hard. You never know what's going to happen, so I'll be nervous once I'm sat there waiting.
While Jessica wishes for a good result, rival Katie relies on regular routine to battle her way through backstage nerves.
My good luck ritual before I go on stage is I always say a prayer right before I go on, just in my head, not all out or anything, and I always wear my ring, so hopefully it's good luck. Sometimes, just keeps me from breaking my leg. I'm not like all the time like reading the Bible or anything, but I go to church every Sunday, my family. I'm Catholic, so yeah, a little bit Irish in me.
There can be a lot of pressure in Irish dancing.
I do think sometimes parents and teachers are very motivated on behalf of the dancer.
Some of the parents can put a lot of pressure on children. I've seen over the years where the parents are more interested in the child achieving than the child themselves.
If a dancer seems to have what it takes to be a champion, you'll get a lot of people pushing them. But I find a lot of dancers want to do it anyway. They actually really believe in it.
What you'll find is, even if the dancer achieves a high standard at a young age, they burn out pretty quickly because the pressure gets too much. So ultimately, if the pressure is not coming from the dancers themselves, the longevity of that dancer's career is going to be quite short.
She did her best. That's all I can ask for. The competition was very, very stiff today. Yeah, some fantastic dancers. So just hope for the best.
Well, I just got on stage. I was so nervous. to go up there. I was shaking because no one else had done the planks to Hugh yet. But it went well, so I'm really happy with it. I was really nervous about the timing, but I think I hit it on, so lots of work paid off. I'm really happy with it.
Although the competition continues, Jessica and Katie have completed their rounds. So for them, the waiting game begins. Besides the carnival, another attraction at City West is the shops. Craig Cousins began fitting shoes at the tender age of 7. In '95, he designed the first shoe to protect Irish dancers, and within 2 years, 80% of the top dancers worldwide were wearing the hooligan shoe.
It's important to always remember that the most important tool that the dancer has are the shoes. Compared to the dress, it's actually probably one of the cheapest parts of the outfit.
I Dance Irish is another stall attracting lots of attention. Along with the many Irish cultural items they sell, wigs are one of the most popular products on their shelves.
A lot of children are opting to go with bun wigs now because of the elegance of it. So a lot of children don't want big wigs. There's a lot of subjectivity in it as well, and what looks good on a child. So we have a lot of children that are opting to put their hair up, put the bun wig on. We would have other children that would go for shorter wigs. We've other ones that love them really long. There's a lot of choice there for kids as well.
The whole idea of curling the hair comes from the old Irish tradition of the Sunday best, and it was very important for a family to sort of make a good presentation in the community at Mass on Sunday, so the mothers would curl the girls' hair to make it look like there was an effort put in and to make them look neat. And I think that's sort of where the whole curling of the hair came from.
Curls bounce, therefore the dancer looks livelier, so you get this kind of optical illusion, so they seem to be a lot more alive, and then that equates to better dancing. And you're thinking, well, the poor girls have to go to Mass with the rollers in, how about we go down the wig thing, and they don't have to go through the torture of wearing rollers at night.
It's really just a convenience thing. Obviously, at times, some people don't get the less is more concept, and some of the wigs have been quite outrageous. But I think when the bigger wigs, if somebody appears wearing a bigger wig, it can look quite comical, and they soon revert to wearing something that looks somewhat more realistic and natural.
While the wigs might create an optical illusion for the girls, unfortunately there are no accessories to aid the under-13 boys. Jack takes to the stage au naturel and hopes having his best foot forward will carry him through as he dances his second round of competition. Unfortunately, not everything goes to plan. The dance comes to a sudden stop as the other competitor has hurt his foot. While Jack shows concern for him, the supporters worry if the interruption will kill off any hope of high points. After the break, Claire gets ready to defend her title for the 5th year, but she'll need to impress the judges who are out for blood.
I wouldn't like to be performing today. I wouldn't like to be up on a stage dancing today.
Before the break, Jack's second round was interrupted with his competitor tripped and hurt himself. Now they return to the stage and pick up from where they had left off.
Adjudicators, we now return to competitors 144 and 145.
Having danced the last 16 bars without any mishaps, Jack hopes the interruption doesn't come between him and the title.
I was very happy with it.
Very happy. Yeah, very happy. Glad it's over, relieved.
Having danced his best, the waiting game begins for Jack and all of his family. Early riser Claire has been up before 5 this morning, preparing for her first dance at 8 a.m.
What time is Jim and Deirdre coming down already?
I think Jim is up before 7:30.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like to be rushing, putting on my wig and putting on my makeup and everything like that. Like at a normal fete, it might only take me 20 minutes to half an hour to do all makeup and hair, but on the day of the Worlds, you take more time. So it'll probably take me up to about an hour.
Ahead of her dance, Claire warms up and stretches out before making her way to the main competition hall.
There's so much pressure when you have a world title behind you and then you're going for the next one. For me, the more I win, the more nervous I get, because the more you win, the more people are expecting you to win, if that makes sense. So, like, everybody has an off day, but if you go out at a competition and you have an off day and people are expecting you to be amazing because you're the world champion, they're going to be looking at you saying, kind of, how did you ever win the Worlds? You know, they're always expecting you to be as good as they expect it to be, but sometimes you just kind of can't really deliver it all the time, so that just puts a lot of pressure, and then the worry that you're not going to deliver and that you're not going to be as good as you want. And then there's always the pressure of, you've won it before, but what happens if you go down and then somebody else takes the title off you and then you're kind of left with not winning. So there's just so much pressure and so much stress that you put on yourself.
The conference centre is buzzing with the activity of dancers and spectators, and in the competition hall, Claire finds some relief in her lucky charm, Pooh Bear.
I've never lost when I've had him with me, so I have to bring him everywhere with me now. So he's in the bag there and he goes everywhere, so he's been to many places.
As the competition continues and Claire's calling time draws closer, we see how she's feeling.
As I get older, you kind of just have to try and control them and put them away, block them out. Fingers crossed it'll all go well.
Backstage, the under-21 girls are getting ready for their first time before the judges. Claire uses a trick of the trade to help prepare for the stage.
Just the sugar in the Coke kind of makes it a bit more rougher and stickier, so that when you go up on stage that your shoes aren't shiny and slippy. Lucozade or Ribena or anything is probably better, but that does the job too. And then sticky.
As teachers, we just want everything to go okay for them. No slips, no trips, no bumps, you know. And that's all you can ask for, really.
Anything can happen on the day. Like, you could be dancing absolutely brilliantly, but you could trip, or you could just go blank and forget your step, and if that happens, you're gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. And like, you only have a few minutes to impress, so anything can happen in those few minutes. So the worry of actually losing that title is just very stressful. When you're performing, it's hard to describe, really, because anything can be going through your head. You could spot someone in the audience and then you kind of focus on them. A lot of people think you're thinking of your steps or anything like that. You're not. Your steps are in your head. So steps aren't an issue. Kind of generally, all your work is done, so really it's in your legs. If it's not in your legs, you're generally not going to think, oh, I have to turn this foot out, or this foot has to get higher than whatever. Do you mean? It's generally in there. So I couldn't actually tell you a lot of the time what does go through my head when I'm dancing, because a lot of the time it's just a blur. Like, I walk off the stage and think, I don't even know what the dance was like. I don't know how it felt. Do you know what I mean? You kind of just don't know yourself. It's very, very hard to describe what would be going through your head. In the last step,
I was thinking of the All-Ireland.
I got it perfect.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You know, I got
your
it.
shootouts from I was really, really pleased with it. Really pleased.
Good. Gorgeous stage. It's an amazing stage.
As the competition continues, we learn what it takes to be the best.
When you're performing a competition, there's an awful lot at stake. You cannot make one mistake, and the material you're doing probably is, you know, very, very athletic and very virtuosic. So it's a different sort of a pressure, but the feeling of actually nailing something is an amazing feeling. But it's kind of short-lived, because you may have nailed it, but your judges may have thought somebody nailed it better than you, so you know, you mightn't get the place that you feel like you deserve.
If I lost to somebody, I'd be fine if I felt they deserved it, or that I didn't dance my best.
If she dances really well and she deserves it, she'd be disappointed if she didn't get it. But hopefully that won't happen.
Throughout this week-long festival, each competition sees over 100 dancers battling it out to be the best. To the untrained eye, these dancers might appear to be equally good, but the experts know exactly how to differentiate them.
I'm not sure that the untrained eye would immediately recognise a natural dancer or be able to pinpoint and say, that dancer obviously has really good natural ability, that dancer's practiced a lot. However, I think the untrained eye will find the performance of a natural dancer more enjoyable, because they will be somewhat more relaxed. And that doesn't mean they'll be any less energetic or any less athletic in their performance. You just won't see the hard work.